Keir Starmer, the UK's Prime Minister, is facing a fierce backlash over his plan to expand the United Nations Security Council. Is this a move to make the world more fair? Or is he weakening Britain's influence on the global stage? Let's break it down. The UN Security Council is made up of 5 permanent members: the UK, the US, China, Russia, and France. These countries hold enormous power when it comes to international peace and security. The UK in particular benefits from being at the centre of global decision-making. But now, Keir Starmer wants to double the number of countries sitting at that table. Starmer's plan? To add new permanent members, including countries from Africa, Brazil and India. The idea is to make the UN more representative of today's global community. In fact, Britain's Attorney General, Lord Hermer, recently announced that the UK will push for this reform, which could also see Japan join the club. Now, not everyone is on board with this. Former Conservative leader Sir Ian Duncan Smith calls this move a dramatic weakening of Britain's position, warning that China and Russia would be the real winners. His words were echoed by former Defence Secretary Grant Shapps, who said this will only compound the damage from Keir Starmer's recent decision to give away the Chagos Islands, another highly controversial move. So why are critics saying this will weaken Britain? The argument is that by increasing the number of permanent members, especially with countries that are aligned with China and Russia, the UK's influence at the top table would be diluted. Duncan Smith even calls this move naive and dangerous. And let's not forget, as Grant Shapps pointed out, Starmer's government has already been accused of shrinking Britain's global role. But Labour isn't taking this criticism lying down. A source close to David Lamy fired back, reminding us that the Tories, under James Cleverly, actually supported a similar expansion of the UN Security Council. Yep, you heard that right. The same countries were proposed, and many of the critics today didn't seem to have a problem with it back then. And this debate isn't exactly new. In fact, reforming the UN Security Council has been talked about for years. Kofi Anan, the former UN Secretary-General, first proposed expanding the Council back in 2005, but these efforts stalled because member states couldn't agree on which countries should be added. So what does this all mean for Britain's future on the global stage? Could doubling the number of permanent members on the Security Council help create a fairer, more balanced international system? Or will it, as critics claim, reduce Britain's influence and give more power to its geopolitical rivals? It's a huge decision that could reshape global diplomacy for decades to come. What do you think? Is Starmer making the right move to push for a more inclusive Security Council? Or is this a dangerous weakening of British power? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more breakdowns of the biggest global issues.